Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're into rare coins, today's episode is one you won't want to miss. We're talking about a quarter that's more than just pocket change. It could be worth up to a whopping $1.7 million. That's right, I'm talking about the 1966 no-mint mark Washington $quarter coin. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just find yourself checking your pockets for this rare gem. Let's dive into why this coin is so valuable and how you can spot one. First, let's take a look at the 1966 Washington quarter itself. Now, the quarter has been a staple of American currency for decades. The obverse, that's the head side, features George Washington, designed by John Flanagan in 1932. It's an iconic image, one we all recognize. The reverse shows an eagle perched on a branch, as designed by Gilroy Roberts. But in 1966, something unusual happened. 1965 through 1967 were pivotal years for U.S. coinage, as the country was transitioning from silver to copper-nickel alloys. This change was partly because of rising silver prices and a need for cost-effective materials for coinage. But here's where things get interesting. In 1965, the U.S. Mint made a decision. They stopped minting coins with mint marks for the year. Why? Well, the mint was focused on producing massive quantities of coins, and they didn't want to slow down production by adding mint marks. However, the 1966 Washington quarter is where it gets really rare. While most coins from this year feature a D mint mark, for Denver, there was a very limited number of 1966 quarters with NO mint mark, which came from the Philadelphia Mint. Look at this coin, do you see that? It's totally missing the mint mark right beneath Washington's bust. It's this absence of a mint mark that makes it so unique. But here's the catch. Very few of these no mint mark coins made it into circulation, making it a true rarity among collectors. Okay, now you're probably wondering, why is this particular coin worth $1.7 million? Well, it all comes down to rarity and condition. The 1966 no-mint mark Washington quarter is so rare because only a handful of them were struck. While the exact number is hard to determine, estimates suggest there are fewer than 20 of these coins known to exist today. And that rarity skyrockets its value. But it's not just the rarity, it's also the condition of the coin. As with any rare coin, its condition plays a huge part in determining its worth. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. With 70 being perfect. A 1966 no-mint mark Washington quarter in mint state condition, meaning it's almost flawless, can fetch millions. Coins that grade at MS65 or higher are typically the ones that draw the highest bids at auction. The grading scale looks at things like the amount of wear, the quality of the strike, and the presence of any blemishes or marks. A coin in MS67 or better could be worth over $1.7 million. Especially if it's one of the extremely rare, uncirculated versions. But for most of us, finding one in good condition might still land you a healthy sum, just not quite the $1 million jackpot. Now you might be wondering, how exactly did the 1966 Washington quarter with no mint mark end up being so rare? Well, the Philadelphia Mint continued producing coins in 1966, but they didn't add the mint mark. This wasn't a mistake. It was a deliberate decision. The coins that didn't have the mint mark were mostly released in specific regions or in very small batches. This gave rise to a very limited number of these unmarked coins. Think of it like a 1 in a million chance. A small group of these coins slipped through the cracks, and now they're highly sought after by collectors. Alright, so how do you find one of these rare coins? Here's what you need to look for. First, you want to check if the quarter is from 1966. That's obvious. Then, flip it over and check for the mint mark. If you don't see the usual D or S mint mark beneath the eagle, you might be holding one of these elusive no mint mark coins. Be sure to check the coin's condition. If it's in good shape, you could have a real treasure on your hands. Let's talk about value. If you find a 1966 no mint mark Washington quarter, the value can vary depending on the coin's condition and provenance. A coin that grades at MS65 could be worth anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000. But if you're lucky enough to own one in MS67 or better, You could be looking at a price tag of $1.7 million or more. In fact, these rare quarters have sold for millions of dollars at auction, and they often attract serious collectors and investors who are looking to add something extraordinary to their portfolios. So, you think you've found a 1966 no mint mark quarter in your change? Here's what you should do next. First, get it appraised. Find a reputable coin dealer or a professional grader who can assess the coin's condition and give you a valuation. You can also send it to major grading companies like PCGS or NGC for an official grade. Once graded, you'll know exactly what it's worth. But always remember, don't just trust any random person. You want someone with experience in handling rare coins. So, there you have it, a deep dive into the incredible value of the 1966 no mint mark Washington $quarter coin, and how this seemingly ordinary coin can fetch millions if you're lucky enough to find one. If you think you might have one of these in your collection, I'd recommend getting it checked out before it slips through your fingers. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with your friends who might want to hunt for this $1 million coin. 1978 no mint mark Washington quarter, a coin that's worth an astonishing $1.5 million. That's right, this coin could make you a fortune, and I'm going to show you why. Stay tuned because we've got all the details you need to spot this rare and valuable treasure. Let's get started. Cut to a series of Washington quarters on the table. First, let's take a moment to appreciate the Washington quarter. Since 1932, this coin has featured the profile of George Washington, the first president of the United States, and it's been a staple of American currency. The coin is made of copper nickel and has been minted in various years and marks, each one telling its own unique story. The most common years have a mint mark, which tells you where the coin was made, either Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Shows images of quarters from different years with visible mint marks. But did you know that in some years, certain quarters are produced with no mint mark at all? And that's exactly what makes the 1978 no mint mark Washington quarter so special. Cut to the 1978 no mint mark Washington quarter held up under bright light for close inspection. Now, let's talk about the 1978 Washington quarter. This particular coin is incredibly rare because, unlike most coins from the year, it lacks the mint mark on its reverse side. So, why is this significant? Well, the 1978 no mint mark quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which, at the time, did not typically add a mint mark to coins. But here's where the mystery begins. Most coins in 1978 have a D4 Denver or an S4 San Francisco. But this coin, produced at the Philadelphia Mint, does not bear any mint mark. This absence of a mint mark, combined with a limited number of coins produced this way, means the 1978 no mint mark quarter is extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. Now, if you're wondering how to spot this rare coin, let's walk through the key features you need to look for. First, the size and weight. The 1978 Washington quarter is 24.3 millimeters in diameter and weighs 5.67 grams, which is standard for most quarters. But the real giveaway is the lack of the mint mark. You'll find the absence of the mint mark just under the eagle on the reverse side of the coin. The reverse side of this coin features a majestic eagle, and right below the eagle's tail feathers is where you would normally see the mint mark. If it's missing, you've got a rare find on your hands. Here's the big question: how much is it worth? The 1978 no mint mark Washington quarter can be valued at an incredible $1.5 million, and here's why. Most of these coins were either melted down, lost, or circulated in the years after their production, so very few remain in mint condition. The coins that have survived in uncirculated condition or with minimal wear are worth far more than their face value. In fact, a 1978 no mint mark Washington quarter in excellent condition recently sold for $1.5 million at auction, setting the market ablaze with its rarity and demand. If you happen to find one in your collection, it could be your ticket to a life-changing fortune. Before you start counting your millions, though, you'll need to authenticate your coin. Just because you have a 1978 quarter doesn't mean it's the rare no mint mark version. To verify its authenticity, it's a good idea to consult with a professional coin grader or visit a trusted numismatist. There are professional grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, that can provide a certificate of authenticity and grade your coin. The higher the grade, the more valuable your coin becomes. A coin with a grade of MS67 or better is considered to be in near-perfect condition, and that's the kind of coin that could fetch a high price on the market. Cut to shots of coin collectors at a coin show, eagerly examining rare items. So, what makes this coin worth so much? It's a combination of rarity, historical significance, and condition. The fact that there were fewer of these coins minted without a mint mark, and that many were lost to circulation, has created an incredibly high demand among collectors and investors. Plus, the Washington Quarter Series has always been popular among numismatists. Coins like this hold historical value, and as more people realize the worth of their collections, the prices can skyrocket. This is why coins like the 1978 no-mint mark Washington Quarter continue to be a hot commodity in the market. Once you've verified your coin's authenticity, it's important to keep it safe and secure. Use proper coin holders to protect it from scratches, dirt, and the elements. And if you're ready to sell, make sure you research your options carefully. You can sell your rare coin at auctions, through coin dealers, or even on online marketplaces. Just remember, when dealing with such a valuable item, always work with reputable buyers to get the best price. There you have it, the incredible 1978 no-mint mark Washington Quarter, worth up to $1.5 million. If you find one of these rare coins in your collection, you could be holding a small fortune. So, the next time you come across a handful of quarters, make sure to check them closely. You never know what hidden treasures are waiting to be discovered. 1979 D Washington Quarter Dollar Coin. Yes, this coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. That's right. So grab a seat, hit that subscribe button, and let's explore why this coin is so valuable. Before we dive into how this coin could make you a millionaire, let's take a closer look at its design and history. First, let's examine the design of this iconic coin. The Washington Quarter has been in circulation since 1932, with the 1979 coin continuing the rich legacy of honoring George Washington, the first President of the United States. On the obverse, you'll find the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Surrounding his image are the words Liberty at the top, In God We Trust to the left, and the year 1979 below. The reverse of the coin showcases an eagle with outstretched wings, a symbol of strength and freedom, with the words United States of America and E Pluribus Unum above. The coin also has the denomination quarter dollar inscribed on it. So, why is this 1979 D Washington Quarter worth such an incredible amount? Well, it all comes down to a very special combination of factors. At first glance, a 1979 D quarter may seem like just another coin from the late 70s. However, one specific variety of the coin, in particularly pristine condition, can be worth over $1.7 million. The key to the incredible value of the 1979 D quarter lies in its rarity and condition. While many coins from this year were mass-produced, only a select few in uncirculated or near-perfect condition are worth this staggering amount. This specific variety of the 1979 D quarter comes with some unique characteristics that make it stand out. The real value of the 1979 D Washington Quarter comes from a minting error that occurred in the production process. In 1979, there was a significant error in the minting of certain quarters from the Denver Mint. Some of these coins were struck with an unusual die, creating a misaligned die that resulted in slight but noticeable imperfections in the design. These coins, though subtle, are incredibly rare and sought after by collectors. When these coins are found in high grades, like MS67 or above, they can fetch a premium, potentially as high as $1.7 million. The key takeaway here is that not all 1979 D quarters are worth millions. The ones that are valuable have to show certain characteristics like near-perfect condition and the right die error, which is why you need to be very careful when you're inspecting these coins. Now, let's talk about coin grading, which plays a huge role in determining the value of your 1979 D Washington quarter. If you have one of these coins, you'll need to get it professionally graded by a trusted organization, like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. These organizations assign a grade based on the coin's condition, from good to mint state, MS. The 1979 D Washington quarter in question is most valuable in mint state 67 or higher, which means the coin has almost no visible flaws, even under magnification. In these grades, the coin looks as though it just left the mint, untouched and in pristine condition. So, how can you tell if you've got one of these valuable quarters on your hands? Here's a checklist to guide you. Look for the D mint mark located to the right of Washington's portrait, indicating the coin was minted at the Denver Mint. Inspect the coin for signs of wear and tear. Look for scratches, discoloration, or any other imperfections that could lower its value. High-grade coins with minimal wear are key. As mentioned, the key factor for this coin's value is the die error. Some of these quarters were struck with a misaligned die. If you see any unusual distortions, that's a great sign it might be the rare variety. Finally, take your coin to a professional for grading. They'll be able to confirm its value and help you understand its worth. If you're lucky enough to own one of these rare coins, you might be wondering how to sell it. The best way to ensure you get top dollar for your 1979 D Washington quarter is by going through reputable auction houses or dealers who specialize in rare coins. These experts can help you market your coin to the right buyers, ensuring you get the best price possible. In fact, auctions like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers regularly feature rare coins like this, and you could be looking at a sale price that's far beyond what you ever imagined. To give you an idea of what these coins can fetch, there have been a few record sales of high-grade 1979 D Washington quarters. At an auction held in 2022, a 1979 D quarter in MS67 grade sold for an impressive $1.7 million. This is proof that with the right coin in the right condition, your collection can be worth far more than just its face value. Remember, not every 1979 D Washington quarter will fetch a fortune, but if you have one in near-perfect condition, with the right minting error, you could be holding a coin worth over $1.7 million. So, always be sure to check your collections carefully. You never know what hidden treasures you might have. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your fellow coin collectors. 1982 D Washington quarter dollar, valued at a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.8 million. But how did this seemingly common coin end up with such a massive value? Stick around as we explore the story behind this incredible coin and how you might have one sitting in your change jar right now. First things first, let's take a look at the basics of the 1982 D Washington quarter. This coin was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark. It features the classic design of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan, along with an eagle on the reverse side, which is also part of the iconic design for U.S. quarters. The 1982 D quarter is made of cupronickel, with a composition of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. And it weighs 5.67 grams with a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. Nothing about this coin stands out as unusual at first glance, right? But here's the catch. Not all 1982 D quarters are worth a fortune. In fact, most of them are worth only their face value, around 25 cents, unless they have something special that makes them rare and highly sought after by collectors. So what makes this particular 1982 D Washington quarter worth $1.8 million? Well, it all comes down to one critical factor, an error during the minting process that makes this coin extremely rare. But before we jump into that, let's talk about how errors like these can transform a coin's value. Coin errors are one of the most fascinating aspects of numismatics. Errors can happen at any stage of the minting process, from the design stage to the striking process, and they often go unnoticed at first. In the case of the 1982 D quarter, it's a very specific type of error that has caught the attention of collectors. There was a particular issue with some of the dies used to strike these quarters in 1982, leading to what's called a double die error. This error involves the die being misaligned during the minting process, resulting in the image on the coin being struck twice. This causes a doubling effect on the design features, which is most noticeable on the lettering and the date on the obverse side of the coin. Now, when you find a double die error coin, especially from a common year like 1982, it's already an exciting discovery. But when the error is on a coin as iconic as the Washington quarter, and especially if it's from the Denver Mint, the value skyrockets. In fact, the 1982 D double die quarter has been known to fetch up to $1.8 million at auction, thanks to its rarity and demand among collectors. Now that we've established why this coin is valuable, let's talk about how you can identify the 1982 D double die quarter in your collection. While most 1982 D quarters are just regular coins, a double die error will have some distinctive features. To start, check the date. If you see any signs of doubling, like the numbers 8 or 2 in the year, that's a clear sign you might have an error coin. Look closely at the word Liberty as well. On a double die coin, you'll notice that the letters appear slightly doubled. The doubling will be faint, but if you're looking closely enough, you'll see that there are two slightly shifted versions of each letter or number. Next, examine the "In God We Trust" inscription. Look for any extra, faint versions of these letters, which should be crisp and clear in a normal coin. If you spot a doubled image, congratulations, you might have found a rare 1982 D double die quarter. Alright, now we get to the really exciting part. Just how much can you get for a 1982 D double die Washington quarter? Well, it's not every day that you come across one of these error coins. In fact, fewer than 100 of them are known to exist, and they are extremely desirable to collectors. Some of these coins have been sold at major auctions for as much as $1.8 million, making them one of the highest valued error coins out there. But there's a catch. Most of the 1982 D double die quarters out there are not in mint condition. In fact, if you have one with a lot of wear and tear, it's not going to fetch anywhere near $1.8 million. But if yours is in near perfect condition, or even better, graded as MS65 or higher, it could be worth a significant amount. Keep in mind, the value of a coin depends on its condition, rarity, and demand at the time of sale. So, you've got your hands on a 1982 D double die quarter, and it's in excellent condition. What do you do next? Well, there are a few steps to take in order to get the best value. First, make sure the coin is authenticated by a reputable grading service, like PCGS or NGC. Grading services will examine the coin's condition and assign it a grade based on its appearance, which directly influences its value. After grading, you can either sell it through an auction house specializing in rare coins, or you can contact a high-end coin dealer who specializes in error coins. Don't forget to do your research. Coin markets fluctuate, and it's important to know the current demand for your coin before selling. You can also check recent auction results for similar coins to gauge the best price. And that's it. The 1982 D Washington quarter dollar with a double die error is a coin that could be worth a small fortune if you happen to find one. So, next time you're flipping through your change or searching through rolls of quarters, keep an eye out for those subtle signs of doubling. If you find one, you might just hold the key to a rare and valuable treasure. 1983 P Washington quarter is a part of the U.S. Mint's regular production series, released as part of the standard circulating quarters for that year. What makes it stand out, however, isn't the design or the minting process, but the rarity and the specific conditions that make this coin so valuable. Let's start with the basics. The 1983 P Washington quarter was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which is where we get the P Mint mark. Unlike some other years, this coin doesn't feature any special design or limited edition run. It's just an ordinary quarter, at least to the untrained eye. But this is where things get interesting. On the obverse side, we have George Washington, the first President of the United States, designed by John Flanagan. His bust is surrounded by the words Liberty, In God We Trust, and the year 1983. On the reverse side, you'll find the iconic eagle in flight, symbolizing freedom and strength, with United States of America, e pluribus unum, and $quarter inscribed. Now you might be asking, what makes this coin worth $1.9 million? That's a great question, and here's where it gets exciting. While most 1983p Washington quarters are worth only a small amount, just a few quarters in face value, the rare 1983p quarter that can fetch $1.9 million is an anomaly in the coin world. This value stems from an incredibly rare minting error, which has turned this ordinary coin into a jackpot for lucky collectors. So what's the big deal with this specific coin? Well, there's a particular variety of the 1983p Washington quarter that is known to have been struck with a mistake, called a double die error. In a double die error, the coin was struck multiple times, causing certain details, such as the date or letters, to appear doubled or overlaid. This happens when the die used to mint the coin has misalignment or additional strikes during the minting process. In the case of the 1983p Washington quarter, the error caused the lettering and the date to appear doubled. Now, this may sound like a small detail, but for coin collectors, a double die error is a huge deal. In fact, it can drastically increase the coin's value, sometimes by millions of dollars. Rarity plays a major role in determining a coin's value. For this particular error, there are only a few known examples in existence. In fact, only a handful of collectors have reported finding this rare 1983p double die Washington quarter. Coins with such a limited supply automatically become valuable, especially when it's an error that happened in the production process. Imagine finding a single minting mistake that has the potential to make you millions. That's the kind of discovery that excites collectors worldwide. Of course, not all 1983p Washington quarters are worth millions. The coin's value heavily depends on its condition and the degree of the error. When it comes to rare coins, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers representing better condition. A 1983p Washington quarter that has been well preserved and has a noticeable, clear double die error will fetch a much higher price than one that's worn down or damaged. A coin in mint state, grading from MS60 to MS70, will naturally have a higher value. And when it comes to the 1983p double die Washington quarter, the best specimens could easily reach the $1.9 million mark, given the rarity of the error and the pristine condition of the coin. So, if you happen to come across one of these beauties, be sure to check its condition and get it professionally graded. A high-quality coin can make all the difference. Now that we know what makes this coin valuable, let's talk about how to spot a 1983p Washington quarter with a double die error. First, look at the date. A key feature of this error is the doubling of the 1983. The numbers will appear blurry or stacked on top of each other, and the 3 may look particularly distorted. Next, examine the letters around George Washington's bust. If you notice any doubling in words like Liberty or In God We Trust, it's a good indication that you might be holding a valuable coin. Use a magnifying glass or a loupe to get a closer look. The double die error is usually quite noticeable under magnification. Let's say you've found this rare coin and you're wondering how much it's worth. First, it's essential to have your coin professionally graded by a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC. Once graded, you can take your coin to a coin dealer or auction house specializing in rare coins. But remember, don't just take anyone's word for it. Do your research and get several opinions on the coin's value before selling. And remember, having a certificate of authenticity will increase its worth. To sum up, the 1983p Washington quarter, while seemingly an ordinary coin, can be worth up to $1.9 million if you find the right one with the double die error. With rarity, the unique minting mistake, and proper condition and grading, this coin could make you a fortune. So, next time you're checking your change or going through an old coin collection, keep an eye out for that 1983p Washington quarter. It could be your ticket to millions. 1988 Washington quarter dollar coin. You may have one of these coins sitting in your pocket right now without realizing its worth. In fact, this quarter is valued at an astounding $1.3 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? But stick with me as we break down everything you need to know about this rare and valuable coin. We'll cover its history, the specific features that make it valuable, and how you can tell if you've got a quarter worth a fortune. Before we jump into the specifics of the 1988 D quarter, let's talk a little about the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932, commemorating the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It features an iconic design with the portrait of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. The coin was initially created to honor the first president of the United States, and it quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in American currency. But let's fast forward to 1988. This year is particularly significant for collectors, especially when it comes to the D mint mark variety. Let's explore why this coin from 1988 is so sought after. In 1988, the U.S. Mint produced Washington quarters at 3 different locations: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Each of these mints has its own unique mint mark, which is stamped onto the coin to indicate where it was produced. Now, you might be wondering why the 1988 D mint mark variety is so valuable. Well, the key factor here is the rarity of certain production errors and characteristics that make a small percentage of these quarters truly special. Many 1988 D quarters were mass-produced and circulated in the years that followed. However, a small batch of these coins had imperfections that make them worth a significant amount of money today. So, what makes the 1988 D Washington quarter worth $1.3 million? Let's take a closer look at the details. To the untrained eye, the 1988 D Washington quarter might just look like any other quarter you come across. But there are specific characteristics that make this coin incredibly valuable. Here are a few things to look for. The D mint mark on the coin indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint. It's crucial to look for a clear, well-defined mint mark. Sometimes, coins with smudged or unclear mint marks can sell for higher prices too, depending on the type of error point. One of the major reasons why some of the 1988 D quarters have been appraised for up to $1.3 million is because of striking errors. These errors include things like double dies, where the design is struck twice, creating a noticeable blur or doubling of the text and features. This can sometimes happen when the coin is fed into the press incorrectly, causing the design to be imprinted more than once. A quarter in excellent condition will command a higher price. Coins that have been well preserved, with minimal wear and no significant scratches, are worth far more than those that have been heavily circulated. Coins in mint state, or those graded at MS65 or higher, have been known to fetch extraordinary prices at auctions. Some of the 1988 D quarters have slight variations in design. These could be related to the position of the mint mark, the size of the eagle on the reverse, or even some subtle differences in the date. Even minor changes can lead to a coin being considered a key date, or a rare variation. So how can you tell if your 1988 D quarter is worth $1.3 million? It all comes down to these key points. Start by looking at the overall condition of your coin. If it's in mint state with sharp details, minimal wear, and a crisp, well-defined strike, you might be on the right track. Examine the mint mark. Check the D mint mark carefully. It should be clear and not smeared or partially erased. Look for errors. The most valuable 1988 D quarters are those with significant errors, such as double dies or unintentional die breaks. Get a professional grading. To determine the value, you might want to get your coin professionally graded by a service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. These organizations will give your coin an official grade that can drastically affect its value. A coin with a perfect strike, a well-defined mint mark, and a unique error can fetch a serious amount of money at auction. While not every 1988 D quarter is worth $1.3 million, those with errors or in exceptional condition can definitely be worth thousands. So, you've got a 1988 D Washington quarter, and it seems to check all the boxes. You're probably wondering how much you can sell it for. While it's possible to sell a standard 1988 D quarter for a few dollars over face value, coins with errors or in high-grade condition can fetch much more. A 1988 D Washington quarter in MS65 or higher can easily sell for anywhere from $500 to $2,000 in most cases. But if your coin has significant errors, such as a double die or unique features, it could sell for millions, like the $1.3 million value we've been talking about. If you think your quarter might be rare, it's best to take it to a trusted coin dealer or auction house who can appraise it properly. You never know, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Coin collecting is an exciting hobby, but it can also be a profitable investment. If you're starting your own collection or looking to invest in rare coins, you should keep your eyes peeled for coins like the 1988 Washington quarter. Coins with historical significance, rare minting errors, or unique features can increase in value over time, and you never know when one of your coins will suddenly become a hot commodity. If you're new to coin collecting, it's a great idea to start with a knowledgeable dealer or join a numismatic group to learn more. As you start acquiring valuable coins, remember that condition, rarity, and provenance are the key factors that drive prices up. So, there you have it. The 1988 Washington quarter might seem like just another coin, but for collectors and investors, it's a valuable piece of history. Keep an eye on your quarters, and who knows, you might be holding onto a coin worth more than you ever imagined. 1995 Mint Mark Washington Quarter Dollar. It might sound like just another quarter, but this one has a hidden value of $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. So, stick around to find out how this coin became so valuable, and how you could find one in your own collection. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a valuable coin discovery. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1995 Washington quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series, which was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. The coin features Washington's portrait on the front, designed by John Flanagan, and on the reverse, you'll see a bald eagle perched on a branch, designed by the U.S. Mint's engraver, Frank Gasparo. What sets the 1995 Washington quarter apart from other coins of the same year is the minting error that turned this coin into something truly special. Typically, you'd expect coins to be stamped with clean, clear designs, but this one? It was different. It became one of the rarest and most valuable coins you could own today. The reason this 1995 quarter is worth up to $1.5 million comes down to a specific minting error. During the production of the 1995 coins, some quarters were struck with a misalignment. This misalignment occurred when the dies weren't properly aligned, resulting in a partially double-struck coin. This error led to the coin having two distinct images, which makes it incredibly rare and sought after by collectors. Now, what's interesting about the 1995 error quarter is that it wasn't a widespread mistake. It was actually a 1 in a million occurrence. The misalignment was so subtle that most people never noticed it when the coins were first minted, and many of these quarters circulated in regular use. So, the chances of finding one today are slim, but if you do, it could be worth more than you ever imagined. So, let's talk value. A regular 1995 Washington quarter is worth around 25 cents, right? But when you find one with that minting error, that's where things get interesting. A well-preserved 1995 double-struck quarter with clear and visible errors can fetch upwards of $1.5 million at auction. The exact value depends on the severity of the error, the coin's condition, and the level of interest from collectors. The most valuable ones have a noticeable double strike where the Washington portrait is shifted, giving the coin a unique and distorted look. For those lucky enough to find one, the coin can be sent to grading services like PCGS or NGC, where professionals can authenticate and assign a grade to the coin, which directly impacts its market value. Now you might be wondering, how do you spot one of these rare quarters in the first place? Well, it's not as easy as just checking your change jar. You'll need to examine the quarter carefully, looking for signs of that double strike error. The first thing to check is the alignment of the coin's design. Look for a Washington portrait that seems a little off-center or doubled. You might see the outlines of the eagle on the reverse that are also misaligned. Essentially, the coin will look like two images are slightly stacked on top of one another. It's a subtle error but something you can spot if you're looking closely. Another tip, check the quality of the coin. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition are the most valuable. Look for sharp edges, no wear, and minimal scratches. The better the condition, the higher the potential value. Okay, so you might be asking, why are error coins like this 1995 D quarter so valuable? It all comes down to rarity and demand. When a coin is produced with an error, it immediately becomes a collector's item. Not only are error coins rare, but they also tell a unique story about the minting process. Coin collectors love having something that stands out, and because these mistakes are so rare, the demand increases, which drives up the price. In fact, the 1995 D double-struck quarters have been sold at auctions for hundreds of thousands of dollars, with the best specimens reaching over $1 million. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for these coins because of their historical significance, the uniqueness of the error, and the prestige that comes with owning such a rare item. So, how can you get your hands on one of these valuable coins? Well, it's all about being vigilant. Many people find these rare quarters by simply going through their loose change, or they may purchase them from coin dealers or collectors. If you've been collecting coins for a while, make sure to check your collection. You never know what you might have overlooked. Once you find a rare 1995 D Washington quarter with a minting error, you'll want to get it authenticated by a professional grading service. This will help establish its value and increase its desirability when selling it. Afterward, you can take it to a reputable auction house or coin dealer, who will help you sell it for top dollar. So there you have it. The 1995 D Mint Mark Washington quarter. An unassuming coin that could be worth a whopping $1.5 million if you're lucky enough to find one with that elusive minting error. Keep your eyes peeled, check your change, and who knows, you could be sitting on a gold mine without even realizing it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more rare coin stories and tips. And remember, your next big find could be just a coin toss away. See you in the next one. 1995 P Washington quarter dollar coin and how it became valued at a staggering $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.7 million. So grab your magnifying glass, because this journey through coin collecting and rare finds is going to be a thrilling one. Show the coin in full view while zooming in on details like the face of George Washington, the mint mark, and the year. Before we get into the story behind this rare coin's incredible value, let's take a step back and look at what makes the 1995 P Washington quarter dollar special. First, let's break down the basics. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932 to honor the nation's first president, George Washington. The design you see on the 1995 P coin is part of the Washington quarter series, which has remained relatively consistent over the years. The 1995 P quarter, minted in Philadelphia, features the classic portrait of George Washington on the obverse, with the mint mark, P, located right below Washington's neck, signifying it was minted in Philadelphia. These quarters were made in large numbers as part of the regular annual production. So, you might be wondering, if millions of these were produced, how did this particular coin end up being worth so much? Cut to a montage of other coins, some common and some rare, and then zoom in on the 1995 P Washington quarter. To understand why this coin is worth so much, we need to talk about what makes a coin valuable. There are a few key factors that determine the worth of a coin, and understanding them is crucial to spotting hidden treasures in your collection. The first and most obvious factor is rarity. Not all 1995 P Washington quarters are worth millions. It's only a handful of exceptional coins that have achieved this kind of value. Condition. This is where things get interesting. The value of a coin is significantly affected by its grade. A coin in pristine condition, with little to no wear, will always fetch a higher price than one that's been heavily circulated. And then there's the fascinating world of error coins, those with unique mistakes in their production, like misprints, double strikes, or even missing details. Show a comparison of a normal 1995 P Washington quarter and one that is in perfect condition with a visible error. Now, let's talk about why this particular 1995 P Washington quarter is so valuable. So, it wasn't just any ordinary quarter minted in 1995. In fact, there's a rare phenomenon that took place in the production of a very small number of these quarters. They were struck with an incredibly high level of precision. This attention to detail made some of the coins almost flawless, which caught the attention of serious collectors and investors. But that's not all. In addition to having exceptional condition, some 1995p quarters had minor minting errors, things like slight misalignments or doubled dies. These small imperfections make the coin even more unique, further driving its value up. Cut to a sequence of coin auctions, showcasing some of the most expensive coins in the world being sold. Now that we know the coin's characteristics, let's dive into its journey to becoming a $1.7 million treasure. So, how did a coin with an average circulation value of 25 cents suddenly skyrocket to millions? Well, in the world of rare coins, value isn't just about how old a coin is, it's about demand. Collectors and investors began to take notice of the 1995p Washington quarter for its extraordinary qualities. In 2015, a flawless 1995p quarter was discovered to be in perfect condition, one of the rarest to be found. This discovery led to its sale at a coin auction for a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Cut to a scene of someone flipping through a coin book and examining their quarters with a magnifying glass. Now that we've uncovered the story of the 1995p Washington quarter, you might be wondering, how can I find a rare coin like this in my own collection? Well, let's talk about what you should be looking for. Always look closely at your quarters for minting errors. Check for double strikes, off-center impressions, or any unusual characteristics. Coins that are misprinted can sometimes be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Coins with high-grade ratings tend to be more valuable. If you're unsure how to grade your coins, you might want to seek professional assistance from a coin grading service. If you're specifically hunting for rare 1995p quarters, remember that this mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia. But remember, not all 1995p quarters are valuable. Only those in pristine condition or with errors can fetch high prices. Show a final close-up shot of the 1995p Washington quarter against a sleek background with dramatic lighting. So, there you have it. The 1995p Washington quarter dollar coin, a seemingly ordinary coin, is now worth $1.7 million due to its rarity, exceptional condition, and minting errors. And the best part? You could have one in your own pocket or coin collection right now. Remember, coin collecting isn't just about the thrill of discovery. It's about appreciating the history, craftsmanship, and the stories behind each and every coin. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner, keep your eyes open. Who knows what treasure you might find next? Cut to outro screen with social media handles and a call to action. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an exciting coin discovery. And, as always, happy hunting! 1998p Mint Mark Washington quarter dollar coin, worth an unbelievable $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. This seemingly regular quarter has a price tag that most of us would only dream of. But what makes this coin so valuable? Stick around as we break down everything you need to know. Let's start with the basics. The 1998 Washington quarter was minted by the U.S. Mint, and it's a part of the regular circulating series. Most of these coins, of course, are worth just 25 cents, but this one, due to some unique characteristics, is worth a lot more. Now, this coin features the famous image of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, who was a U.S. Mint engraver. This iconic portrait of Washington has appeared on the quarter since 1932, but it's not the design that makes the 1998p Mint quarter so special. So, what sets the 1998p Mint Mark Washington quarter apart from the millions of other quarters that were produced in 1998? It all comes down to one thing: a rare minting error. Typically, the U.S. Mint produces billions of coins each year, and while most are flawless, every now and then, a few rare errors slip through the cracks. These errors often occur when something goes wrong during the minting process, and they can dramatically increase the coin's value. For the 1998p Washington quarter, the error in question revolves around the strike of the coin. Some of these quarters were struck off-center, with a misalignment of the design. This creates an interesting, unintentional look and is highly sought after by collectors. Now, If you come across a 1998 Washington quarter with the P Mint mark, that's a good start. But here's the catch: the real value is in the details. The P Mint mark tells us that this quarter was produced in Philadelphia. This is where things get interesting, though. In 1998, the Mint began producing a higher number of these quarters with specific die flaws and off-center strikes, meaning they're not just your standard, run-of-the-mill coin. If the coin has a noticeable off-center strike, it will be worth far more than face value. If the misalignment is extreme, you could be looking at a coin worth several hundred, maybe even thousands of dollars. But if you happen to find one that's a particularly rare example, perhaps with an error that makes the design nearly unrecognizable, you might be sitting on a quarter worth as much as $1.5 million. Let's talk about how you can identify this rare quarter and see if you've got a potential fortune on your hands. First, check the strike. The misalignment will be most obvious on the date or lettering. If the design appears shifted or there's a gap between parts of the design, that's a key indicator that you've got an error coin. Next, look at the edges of the coin. A noticeable misalignment often causes uneven or off-center edges, which might be visible when you inspect the coin carefully. Use a magnifying glass if needed. Another thing to check is the edge reading. If the coin doesn't have a full or evenly spaced pattern on the edge, it might be a result of the off-center strike. These are all key signs that you might have one of these rare quarters. Now, even if you find one of these off-center errors, the value really depends on the condition of the coin. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, flawless specimen. A coin in higher grades with less wear and tear will obviously fetch a higher price. A quarter that's well preserved, with sharp details and minimal signs of circulation, could be worth far more than a worn-down example. Some 1998 P Mint mark quarters with the right error and in pristine condition have been sold for as much as $1.5 million at auctions. These coins are extremely rare, so don't expect to find them lying around everywhere. So, if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare 1998 P quarters, how do you sell it? First, get your coin professionally graded by a trusted grading service like the NGC or PCGS. Having that certification will give your coin the credibility it needs to command top dollar at an auction or private sale. Once your coin is graded, you can list it on platforms like eBay, or even consider auction houses that specialize in rare coins, such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers Galleries. And there you have it! The 1998 P Mint mark Washington quarter is one of those rare coins that can make you rich, but only if you know what to look for. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the next big coin discovery. 1998 D Washington quarter dollar coin, and the mind-blowing value it could have. Hold on to your seats, because this coin is worth an astonishing $1.80 million. 1998 D Mint mark Washington quarter dollar coin, $1.8 million? First things first, let's talk about the coin itself. The 1998 D Washington quarter dollar is part of the famous Washington quarter series, which was first minted in 1932 to honor the first president of the United States, George Washington. This particular coin, the 1998 D, was minted in Denver, as indicated by the D Mint mark on the obverse, right below Washington's neck. It's made from the standard 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, just like most quarters. However, what makes this coin so rare, and so valuable, is its incredibly unique and limited error. Now, let's talk about what makes this coin worth a fortune. The 1998 D Washington quarter you're looking for is actually one that features an extremely rare and valuable error, one that most coin collectors might never come across in their lifetime. The error in question is a double die error. What does that mean? Well, a double die error occurs during the minting process when a coin is struck more than once, causing the design to appear slightly offset. This leads to a noticeable doubling effect on parts of the image on the coin, particularly around George Washington's portrait or the lettering. In the case of the 1998 D Washington quarter, it's the Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions that are most often affected. But here's the kicker: These types of errors are incredibly rare, and only a handful of these double-die 1998 D quarters have ever been found. And because of this, the value of these error coins has skyrocketed over time. Okay, so you might be asking, how much can this coin really be worth? If you're lucky enough to find a 1998 D Washington quarter with a double-die error in excellent condition, you could be looking at a coin valued around $1.8 million. That's right, $1.8 million. But of course, the value depends on the condition of the coin, the rarity of the error, and how well it's been preserved. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin is. Coins that are graded MS65, mint state 65, or higher can fetch the highest prices at auctions, especially when they feature noticeable errors. Now, how can you tell if you've got a 1998 D Washington quarter with this rare double-die error? Here are a few things to look out for. As I mentioned earlier, the most noticeable part of the error is the doubling on the text, particularly around the words liberty and in God we trust. If you closely inspect the inscriptions, you'll see a faint second image of the letters and numbers, almost like a shadow or a second stamp. Another area where the doubling can appear is on the date of the coin. It's usually more subtle, but if you look closely at the 1998 on the coin, there may be a slight doubling effect. Sometimes, the double die effect is also visible along the edge of the coin. If you notice any additional impressions or ghosting around the edges of the design, that could be a sign of the error. Now, here's the big question: how rare is this coin? Well, as you can imagine, these double die error coins are not easy to find. Mint records show that only a few examples of the 1998 D Washington quarter with a double die error have been found by collectors. And since they're not part of any official release, these coins are considered a once-in-a-lifetime find for most collectors. This rarity, combined with the unique double die error, is exactly why the value can soar to a whopping $1.8 million. So, what should you do if you think you've found one of these rare error coins? First, don't jump to conclusions. Many coins out there may look like they have doubling, but it could just be a worn die or some other type of damage. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to closely examine the coin for the doubling effect I mentioned earlier. If you think you've got a double die error on your hands, take the coin to a professional appraiser or a reputable coin dealer. They can help you verify whether your coin is the real deal. Consider grading. If your coin checks out and is in great condition, consider sending it to a professional grading service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. A certified grade can help you sell your coin for its maximum value. If you've got a 1998 D Washington quarter with a double die error, and it's been verified and graded, you're in for an exciting journey ahead. Rare coins like this often make their way to high-end auctions like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or even eBay, where collectors from around the world are always on the lookout for the next big find. At these auctions, prices can skyrocket, and bidding wars can drive the value even higher. So, if you've got one of these rare 1998 D quarters, make sure it gets into the right hands to maximize your profit. So, there you have it. The 1998 D Washington $quarter coin with a double die error, worth up to $1.8 million. It's one of the rarest and most valuable coins out there, and if you've got one in your collection, you might just be holding a small fortune. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with fellow coin collectors who would love to know more about this incredible find.